been around the world. I have had run different programs, entrepreneurial and innovation program in 9 different countries of the world, in 4 different regions. And it is one of my passions to help young people start their own businesses, build their own businesses. So a little bit about me. As I have told you, Fiza told you, sorry. I used to work with her as in NIC Islamabad as the head of investments and partnerships. And after that role, I started something of my own. It's called O Ventures, and in that organization, we help any business across the world in solving their critical business problems through innovation. So we have worked with the likes of Coca-Cola, S&P Global, uh, Islamic Bank in Malaysia, Dubai, and some other banks in Pakistan and in Saudi Arabia as well. And we have helped them solve their critical problems through innovation. Nowadays, what I'm doing as my full-time work is I am the project director of one of the NICs, NIC for Aerospace Technologies. And this is a very niche area. It has been a huge learning for me as well to kind of spur technology because the peak of technology in any part or any niche is the aerospace. Wherever you want to deploy, you have to perfect that technology and then it becomes the aerospace technology. So whether it is an engineering solution or just a dining solution, it has to be perfected and then it becomes deployable in the aerospace industry. So to work in this industry has been a huge learning for me, but I'm so glad that I'm getting to share this journey with the likes of you. So today, what we are going to talk about is building businesses and cooperatives, especially in the area of sustainability, what we call the ecopreneurship, in terms of like the term that we use for it. So the session objectives that we will have is, first of all, I want to like establish a good understanding of what an eco business is. So if we think over the top of our mind, the first definition that might come to your mind is that it is something that cares for the environment and sustainability, but the profitability gets missed from this definition. So we are going to
Hey,
address that gap.
may
Is there a question from the audience? I heard somebody.
I think someone's mic was open, so I think there's no
Right.
question. Yeah.
Yeah. So from there on, we will move to what a business model canvas is and discover what the 9 different parts of business canvas are about, how to bring them together. Then we will explore some of the Pakistani successful startups led by women who are creating wonderful impact in the ecopreneurship area and in the broader community. And finally, we are going to then move towards practicing the hands-on concepts. I want it to be a very interactive session. I see some of the audience members have turned on their cameras. I would request everybody to please turn them on so that we can proceed. And if we can do that, it would help us become much more interactive. If for some reason you don't want to, that is perfectly understandable as well. But I would still encourage everyone to at least be very vocal. Whenever you have a question or you have a suggestion, you can put that in the chat box. I'll be constantly monitoring the chat box as well. And yeah, that is how I would want this section to be. I don't want it to be one way. So before we talk about what is ecopreneurship, I would want to give everybody 5 minutes to put that in the chat. I don't want you to say it out loud. I want you to put your ideas in the chat so that you guys can read and also build up on it. And then we will pick some of the most interesting um, definitions that come from you and we will build up on it. So 5 minutes, it's 11:16 according to my clock. Let's start discussing them at 11:21 exactly. Whatever you think ecopreneurship is. Mariam, just give me 5 minutes. There is an orientation going on for our cohort. Just let me say welcome and come back. Meanwhile, you guys put the definitions and I will come back to you.
Okay, okay, sure.
Hello, sorry, I had to step away to welcome the new cohort that we have taken in. These are young people like yourself, and as I said, it energizes me if I am with young people. So my apologies for that. But yeah, let's start with some of the definitions that we have in our chat. Okay. Um, Shar Gayangos. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but you can always correct me. Um, she says it can be a different form of models, but the goal is to balance people, planet, and profit. Yeah, so that is the bottom line: people, planet, and profit. But how we balance it is exactly what we want to do through an eco entrepreneurship. And that is the kind of difference from the conventional business as well. The bottom line changes. In my opinion, ecopreneurship is when the business consider and work for the benefits of the economical, social, and environmental. Yeah, to an extent, this is right. So you're not just working to create finances or economy, you are also looking at the social and the environmental impact. So this is very interesting. Momal says, a young climate activist from Pakistan, and I think eco entrepreneurship is a business that is both profitable and eco friendly, doesn't damage the environment, rather benefits it with sustainability. Yeah, Momal, that is right. The concern is not just to make profit and money, but also to look at making it more sustainable and environmental friendly. Um, so Nagin says a business providing eco-friendly products, services, such business focus mainly on solving environmental and social issues with generating profits. For example, a waste recycling business not only recycles substance. Yeah. So again, it is correct, but I want you to think in broader terms as well. So yes, waste recycling business is an example of ecopreneurship, but there are so many more, I would say, unusual examples that you can think of, and I want you to think of, because it's not just when you're trying to recycle plastics or avoid plastics that you can serve the planet. There is so many more ways that you can do that, and we would, one of the examples that I have today from a successful Pakistani startup would address that as well. Ecopreneurship is a type of entrepreneurship where individuals and businesses develop products, services, or innovations that are environmental friendly and contribute to sustainable products. Yeah, that is all right. uh, Hello, I'm Zubia from Pakistan. For me, it is a type of business where environmental friendly products made to support the economy must be profitable. Okay. Shar again says, hi, I'm the founder of Eco Shop Philippines. We are a hybrid store that offers local and eco-friendly products. For me, ecopreneurship is promoting circular economy. Okay, Shar, why don't you unmute yourself? I see that you have already turned on your video. This is very interesting for me because what you're doing through Eco Shop, I tried to do it through Eco Life back in 2018. And I would love to hear the story of what you're trying to do and how it is going until now.
Hi Cheyenne, and it's nice to
Hi.
hear because we actually also started in 2018, so I know how
Oh,
you feel,
wonderful.
right? It was a very different landscape in
Yes.
2018 versus 2025, where I think green marketing, circular economy, it's becoming the buzzwords these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but back then it was a struggle. We actually are a one-stop shop of everything local and homegrown and eco-friendly. So we really try to reduce everything in even through our process. We pull in bubble wraps from our community. So it started as that, but then the vision it changed because when you realize that environmental issue could not be isolated, you have to address other issues as well. So we have evolved into offering a community space in our shop. We have a community library, and we're doing grassroots initiatives just to make sure that while we are profiting, we are slowly becoming sustainable. Um, there's also that awareness that there is a gap because we need to educate. And for people to be educated, they have to have access to this
Yeah.
awareness. So It is still doing well, not as scalable as let's say, mass market products. So we're hanging in there, but it's still good. It's still doing good.
So good to hear that, because and one thing is that you are much more courageous and much more entrepreneurial perhaps than me, because in 2018 when I started Ecolife in Pakistan, the vision was to become the Amazon of sustainable products. And I quickly found out that there was what we call a sustainability premium on the products that were sustainable in Pakistan. And because of that sustainability premium, and we will talk about it, what is a sustainability premium in more detail. So people were not ready to pay the sustainability premium, and we could not go on. The business model failed, and we had to close the shop within 1 year. But it's so good to see that this is something that you are carrying on, and this is like going considerably well in Philippines compared to Pakistan. Until now, there were a couple of startups that popped up after me when there was the premium came lower, but those have closed shops now as well. They were forced to close. So this is something that has Pakistan, at least it has not been cracked so far on a massive scale. So when we talk about eco entrepreneurship, all of the definitions that you guys put were right in essence, and most of them had components of what an entirety of eco venture is. So for example, a recycling plastic, an organic farm that protects soil and health, a sustainable fashion using eco-friendly or recycled materials, a renewable energy solution for rural areas, or just some business like Shar's business, which saves people from consuming international products and promotes the local businesses. These are all examples of what an ecopreneurship can look like. And I want you to think of this holistic scenario when you are thinking of eco entrepreneurship, rather than just focusing on the usual examples from recycling plastic or the renewable energy resources that we keep hearing. So, what are the basics of an eco business? As somebody had put in the definition, I forgot the name. I think, Shar, it was you. The bottom line that was mentioned: people, planet, and profit. This is absolutely perfect. This is the bottom line for any eco business that should matter. Uh, at the end, it's about making financially sustainable business, but you have to do that while considering what is happening to the people and what is happening to the planet. If the planet or the people are suffering because of the profits that you are making, then you are an antithesis of what an eco business should be. Eco business considers people and planet just like it considers the profits. And in this day and age, I truly believe that every business needs to be an eco business, because right now the climate emergency that we are facing, not just in Pakistan but everywhere in the world, the kind of catastrophes, the natural disasters, the frequency of all of it happening is so much and so serious that if we don't get this wake up call and continue to exploit the planet and the people, then there is nothing going to be left to be exploited. And we would soon find out that our drive for profits has driven us into the doomsday. So yeah, I truly believe that every business now needs to be a eco business or an ecopreneurship. So why does it particularly matter for Pakistan? Um, so people who are from Pakistan and in the audience today would know that there have been severe floods as we speak. We are sitting in very severe floods in Pakistan. Almost two-thirds of Pakistan is underwater right now, and this is not happening for the first time. It happened to us 3 years ago. Same, two-thirds of Pakistan was underwater, but we failed to do anything about it. And yet we are there again, and there is little that we can do even now. And this is a cycle. So right now we are sitting in the middle of the flood, but then like 2 months from now, we would be facing water scarcity because Pakistan is also one of the most water scarce regions in Pakistan, in the world. It is one of the most water pressured regions in the world. And there is a waste crisis developing as well because of the huge population that we have and the lack of education and awareness about how to kind of process the waste in a reasonable way. We are facing growing urban waste crisis in Pakistani urban centers, especially the top 10 cities that are there in Pakistan. And all of this leads to a lot of stress on our resources, the natural resources and the man made resources. They get very stressed when this happens. Um, so before we move on, I would like to do a quick poll with the audience. What would you choose as the first sustainable product in your home or in your life if you were given a chance? And would you still choose it if there was an added cost? So I talked about the sustainability premium. Sustainability premium means the difference of cost if you go for a sustainable product and it is costing you more than the normal product. So, for example, if you go for a sustainable charcoal brush made out of wood, if it costs you $1.5 instead of the $1 plastic brush that you can get off the market, then that $0.5 difference that you get in the price for the sustainable product is the sustainability premium that you're paying. So the question is, what would be your first pick to replace as a sustainability product? And would you still use it if there is a sustainability premium that you have to pay on that product? So just discuss it for a couple of minutes. It's 11:37. I would want to hear from you at 11:39. You can use the chat to discuss it. I know that if we try to do it on mics on, it would not be possible for you guys. So you can do it on chat. Or if somebody wants to unmute themselves, they can unmute themselves as well. Organic food. Okay. Mariam seems to be health conscious and therefore she has chosen organic food, and that is a good choice. I remember a time when all the food was organic food, especially in Pakistan. You didn't have to particularly go to organic food shops to pay more money and choose organic
Yeah, but
food for
actually,
yourself.
when I went to Germany, I saw that they have some of the products mentioned that this is the health conscious product. Like they have given numbers like A, B, C, D. So if you purchase the product that is A in written on that, it means it is fully healthy and everything in it is good.
Hmm.
But when you purchase the item that is D or E, so it is not healthy much. So then I realized that I should have to purchase the products which are more organic and more a form of the product. So that's why I prefer. If it's expensive, I
Right.
would definitely purchase those.
Arsalan says for bamboo toothbrushes, you can rely on trash beaver. Okay. Good marketing, Arsalan. Okay, somebody said MLP bag, Samra. Samra, what is an MLP bag? I don't know. Would you like to educate me what an MLP bag is? Angelina says buy thrift. Yeah, this is a growing trend now. Um, People are switching to thrift shopping now rather than going to the first-hand shops and buying new clothes. Unfortunately, in Pakistan, we don't really have a lot of choice in purchasing sustainable. Yeah, as I was, Fiza, so this is what I was mentioning. I was in the business of making those sustainability products available to the audience. And what I found out is it's not a problem on the supplier side, it's a problem on the demand side. So the demand for sustainable products in Pakistan is so low that even the businesses that want to sell sustainability products, they do not have enough audience for them to make enough profits out of them. And therefore, they keep running into the ground. Okay, so our 2 minutes time is up for this discussion. There have been some good mentions. Sure says, I'm really curious what the demographic is in Pakistan. Is awareness low? So the demographic in Pakistan is pretty similar to what we have in Indonesia. So 60% of the population is under 35 years, 39 years, sorry. And the majority of people, two-thirds majority, around two-thirds majority is vastly young population. But the thing is that about 60% of the population lives in rural areas, and the awareness among the rural population is very low. They still think that sustainable products or paying a sustainability premium is not the way to go, and they are very cost sensitive, and therefore they would choose an unsustainable product even if they think that this is going to harm the environment, or they don't think about it. So I think the demographic is just not ready for buying a sustainable product until now. There are some categories where the awareness has been like made available by the government initiatives and some private initiatives as well. So there has been some improvements, but in the large majority of product categories, that is still not the case. So let's proceed towards some of the examples of the success stories of ecopreneurship from Pakistan. And this is a huge one of my favorite ones from Pakistan. It's not just a success story in ecopreneurship, this is a success story of just an amazing business built by a woman, not just one woman, two amazing women. Both of them medical doctors, both of them trained to be as risk averse as anyone can be. And yet they started something amazing called Sehat Kahani. So in Pakistan, Urdu is the main language that everyone speaks. And Kahani in Urdu means story. And Sehat in Urdu means health. So Sehat Kahani means health story, your story of health. So Dr. Sara Saeed and Dr. Ifat Zafar Aga, these are the two co-founders that started this startup called Sehat Kahani. And this is primarily a health tech company that provides telemedicine solutions to people mostly in the rural areas. And why this has happened and this has become such a successful startup is because in Sindh and in South Punjab, there are so many rural areas where quality medical doctors or quality medical attention is not available to the patients who need them most, especially to the female. And once they started penetrating these markets, these became the impetus for their growth. They then partnered very shrewdly with some of the biggest businesses in Pakistan. So, for example, Unilever and others, they partnered with them and advertised through their channels because their products were being used in these rural centers already, and these were their gateway. So, at the back of those products, the packaging of those products, they would get Sehat Kahani branded. They would put their helplines into it, and when they made their way into every household, they became a household name themselves. So there have been so many patients. I think they have served more than a million patients now. Their outdated numbers say 600K, but from the sessions that I have had with these wonderful co-founders, I know that this is more than a million patients now that they have addressed. They have more than 1,000 female doctors, which kind of builds that trust, which drives even more patients towards them because a majority of their patients, as I told you, is female. And why I'm calling them an eco business is because they have reduced the emissions that were being caused by people needing to go to the medical centers, hospitals in the big urban centers by 70%. So if a person travels even on a bus or from a rural center in interior Sindh to Karachi, for example, which is a buzzing big urban center, it adds a lot of emissions into the environment, and that is an added stress. And therefore, by offering telemedicine model on the household, to every household in interior Sindh and in the southern Punjab region, they cut out a lot of those emissions and have helped Pakistani environment and the global environment as well. So this is just one example of how even something related to health can create an environmental difference as well. Sabah, can you please mute yourself? I think you are unmuted unconsciously. If there is something that you want to say, please, you can say that as well. Another story is Eco Energy. This is again a woman-led startup, and they provide solar solutions to, again, rural but also urban population in Pakistan. They have grown big, and some of the innovations that they have offered are in terms of the human capital that they are creating. So they are training the local women as sales agents and energy ambassadors. And when women, they go to other women, they talk about the energy sources, they are able to educate other women and households, and therefore their solutions are spreading at a very rapid rate compared to some of the other solution offerings that are there as their competitors. And their impact has been over hundreds of thousands of households that now have converted to clean energy sources because of their work, both in Sindh and Punjab. So these are two very good examples of what eco businesses can do and are doing in Pakistan, but they can certainly go on to have a global scale as well. Now, what I want to do is go on and discuss the business model, how you can create a sustainable business by using different sections of the business model canvas. So there are 9 different sections, and each of them has a different purpose. We will go through them. Let me also share the exact business canvas that you guys would need to, for example, fill if you are interested in this. So this is the exact business model canvas. Or can you guys all see it? Right. So you see there are 9 different sections. And what I want you to start with is, and you would see there are 3 major sections in this. These are the big ones. So key partners, value proposition, and customer segment. These are the ones that are the most important and also have double the share of any other segment on this sheet. So start by defining who are going to be your customers first. Sure, since you are already doing the business, can you quickly define what your customer segment is in, for example, Philippines, where you're doing your business?
I struggled from unmuting. Okay. We right now our customer segment is 80% women and around 35 to 44. Most of them are green purchasers, so they are already aware of
Mm-hmm.
the green products that we have. That's our main primary customer segment. And then our second one would be conscious but still don't know what to do. So
Right.
we're still trying to bridge that gap. And the last one actually would be those looking for just alternatives to what is
Mm-hmm.
already in the mass market.
Yeah. Amazing. So, when we are defining our customer segment, I want you to think in terms of demographics and also in terms of what are the habits, what are the differentiators for your customers. So, for example, if we talk about the demographics, what is the age range of your customers? So, for example, Cher said that her customers are primarily women, but women of what age? Maybe it's women who are 25 to 45 years of age. It can be a different age range as well, but you have to find out what age range is there. And normally, if we can differentiate that, it makes our job easier to then make the advertisements that are addressed to them. Similarly, we need to find out what is the average education of these people that are buying from us. What is the educational background? What is the level of earning that these guys or these people are earning? So, for example, in terms of dollar, what is the average household income that they have? And where are these people eating? This can be a good proxy for their household income as well. If they are eating at McDonald's, for example, they may be a middle income household. But if they are eating at fine dining restaurants, then you might know that they are high income earners, and therefore they are somebody who spend a lot of money or have a lot of disposable income, and therefore you can price your product higher. Similarly, you would also need to find out where these guys spend their leisure time. If they are spending it in big clubs or hotels or on vacations outside their country, that means they are a high income group, and therefore you can price the product more premium, rather than somebody who is spending most of the leisure time inside their homes or inside their city. That means that they are middle to low income category, and therefore when you are selling something to them, you need to price that product on a lower side. So this is about the customer segments. Then we come to the value proposition, and this is one of the most critical things that a business needs to have. Can anybody or would anybody like to tell me what they think when you think about value proposition? Anyone? Mira, Samra, Rosie, Diana, Angelina. I'm just taking out names from the audience. Any one of you, if you want to unmute, you can share your views. And there is obviously no right or wrong. I'm just curious. So, all right. Value proposition is what is the pain that you are trying to alleviate from your customers, and what is the gain that you are trying to create. These are the two critical elements of value proposition. You have to alleviate the pain of your user or customer, and you have to create a gain for them. So, for example, let me give you an example of Netflix. What is the pain that they are taking away? Anyone? What is the pain that Netflix takes away from your life? It takes away boredom, it takes away inconvenience. Do you remember the world where there was no Netflix? We had to go out, we had to rent the DVDs, we had to come back and then play it, only to find out that those DVDs are not working. So it was a lot of inconvenience, it was a lot of hustle for the entertainment. It is taking that pain away from us. And what is the gain that it is giving? It is giving us the control over what we want to watch, and it is giving us convenience that whatever we want to watch is at our fingertips. And um, we want to watch a movie, we can do it by sitting at our home on our couch. So yeah, Manur says time. Yeah, it is also giving us time. So time is one of the games as well. So the value proposition for Netflix is it takes away the boredom and the inconvenience, and it gives you a control over what you want to watch and a convenience while doing that. So this is literally the value proposition of Netflix. And therefore, whenever you are creating a product or a service for the customer, you have to think in these terms. What is the pain that I'm taking away? It has to be a real pain. And what is the gain that I'm going to create in their life? It has to be a valuable gain that they really value and value it so much that they are willing to pay for it, right? So that is why value proposition is important. Next comes the key partners. In anything that you want to do, key partners are critical. You cannot do anything without them. So, for example, if you want to make the first sales happen, you cannot do it just like I gave you the example of Sehat Kahani. Had they not partnered with the household names like Unilever and Procter and Gamble, they would not have been able to grow as much as they have grown now. And that is the importance of key partnerships. So it is a very big proverb. I adhere to it. They say collaboration is the new competition. Now the world as we see it, we are not competing with each other. So it is very easy to say this is my competitor, but if you drill down, you would find out that they are not exactly your competitor. There could be ways where you can differentiate your product or your service. So we say you can go from the red ocean to the blue ocean. What it means is that while having the same category of product or the same category of service, you can drill down into a niche market or a niche segment where you are not competing with others, and therefore you have the entire market segment to yourself. So for example, there is Postex and there is TCS. Postex is a big courier service in Pakistan which was recently created, and they have now grown on into a significant player in the courier services. And then there is another one which is called TCS. It's an international name. It used to be a giant. It was such a big giant in Pakistan that when we wanted to courier something, we did not say, let's go courier this product. We used to say, let's TCS this. So they became synonymous with the service itself. They were so huge. But now Postex has grown to a part where they have an entire segment, which is the e commerce businesses in Pakistan, almost entirely to themselves. So how they were able to create that, that is a long story. I would share it perhaps in another session. But when you go from the red ocean to the blue ocean and you try to differentiate your product, while the broader category is the same, you can still find out that there is a particular segment or a niche where you are uncompeted. And that is where you become. So now Postex is actually partnering with TCS and offering them services as well. So this is an excellent example. Similarly, if you look at Samsung and Apple, in the broader category, they are both competitors in the cellular market, in the cellular segment. But in fact, Samsung makes the screens and the chips for Apple, and they are collaborating with each other because Samsung has found a niche where Apple is not, and therefore they are key partners to each other. So have that mindset where you can collaborate with the outward seeming competitors, and you will find yourself in such a better position. The other five segments, sorry, six segments that we have to think about is what are going to be the key activities. So once you have the value proposition defined and the customer segment defined, you are going to find out what should be your key activities. Key activities should be how, what is going to be your distribution system, how you're going to sell that, how are you going to market that. Those are going to be the key activities: marketing, sales, distribution, all of that. Similarly, customers relationships. Once the sale or service is made, how are you going to keep the customers happy? That has to be the customer relationship. It is not just one off. A business does not work on a one off, it works on a constant relationship. As much as it is important for a business to acquire the customer, it is even more important to keep that customer, because acquiring a customer has a cost to it, which we call the customer acquisition cost. But once we retain the customers, those customer acquisition costs go out and we actually start making profits. So if you're not, if you're just into the acquiring customer business and you are not keeping the customers happy, then you will have a very hard time being a profitable business. And therefore, your customer relationships are really important. Channels, these are the channels through which you have a constant communication with your customers or the aspiring customers. So for example, the marketing channels, what are you going to use to communicate your value proposition to the new customer segments? Then are your key resources. Key resources are the ones that give you an unfair advantage. Does anyone know what an unfair advantage is? Come on, audience, I want to see more interaction. This is going like a speech. I wanted more to be an interactive session. Mariam, Sabah, Sanya, Krishna, Nagin, Tuba, all of these people, Momal, would you like to take a go at what the key resources are, or what do you think the unfair advantage is? Some hidden strength. Yeah, Nagin, in some ways it is a hidden strength, but you need to be more elaborate about it. So, unfair advantage. Okay, there is not a businesswoman, quite difficult to answer, only know the basics. That is all right, Zubia. That is what we are here for. We are here to help you. But know that there is no wrong answer. And if you don't start speaking up, you would have a very hard time becoming a business person. And I'm guessing that all of you, since you are here, you have that aspiration to become a business person. And it would really help if you can just say whatever is in your mind without caring for the result, because that is literally rule number one for an entrepreneur. So, what an unfair advantage means is, for example, I worked in the startup industry, innovation industry for 10 years. I know a lot of people now. I literally have their WhatsApp numbers, so I can literally pick up my phone and message anyone, and they would listen to me. That is an unfair advantage compared to anyone who's new entrant into the industry. So, for example, if I come up with my next startup and want to raise an investment or sell to somebody, sell to another business, I would have a much easier time doing that because of all the connections that I have, because of the virtue of working in this industry for 10 years now, right? So these are the key resources that I have. These are the key strengths that I have, or the unfair advantage that I have. It may be your background, it may be a huge amount of saving that you earned um, by the virtue of working for so many years, and now, or even inheritance that you can get in family money. If you have a backer or something, that is an unfair advantage as well. So yes, social networks are an unfair advantage. Your position is an unfair advantage. Your knowledge of a particular field is an unfair advantage. If you are an expert, a very sought after expert, that gives you an unfair advantage over the others. So these are all the unfair advantages that you can use to build a business that would be very hard to compete with. And finally, we have the revenue streams and cost structures. Cost structures are the costs or the inputs that go into every business. So, for example, if I have to set up my office, if I have to pay my utility bills, if I have to buy some subscriptions to make my product happen, if I have to hire the HR to make my services available or the product available to others, those are all the cost structures that I have to pay for in order to think of them as the inputs for your business. And revenue streams are the output for your business. These are the earning ways, the ways that you're going to make money. So for some service businesses like Netflix, they can be subscriptions that their users are paying them on a monthly or a weekly or a yearly basis. For others, it can be one-off sales that happen. Or for some others, they can be partnership or licensing fees or things like that. Cost structures are the fixed expenses that cannot be eliminated. Yes, they can be one-off. So once you have made them, they can be eliminated, or they can be recurring cost. which happens every week or every month or every year. So yes, these are the cost structures. So this is essentially the business model canvas. I will now go back to the presentation. Mariam, I would share this document with you as well, so you can then share it with the remaining audience. Let me go back to the original presentation. So let's indulge into another activity. Can we make breakout rooms, Mariam?
For now, I think we can't because for setting up the Zoom call, I think I can do that. Otherwise, for now, I cannot because I'm using the Zoom account from Gavera's
Okay.
account. Yeah.
Right, right. So, if we cannot find a way to make breakout rooms, what can we do to make groups? Okay, so starting alphabetically, can we make groups of like 4 or 5 people, and you can start working with each other to kind of discuss an idea with each other. It can be a hypothetical business that you want to do. It has to solve a particular eco challenge. So it can be waste management, water conservation, clean energy, sustainable food sources, sustainable agriculture, or any other particular eco challenge that you want to solve. And I want you to then fill the canvas. I let me share it with Mariam.
You
Mariam, let
you can maybe share directly in the chat so everyone can access it.
um can we share the document in a chat?
I think you can do that, yes.
Let me try. Let me try.
If not, then I will do that.
Okay, yeah, I can
Mm.
share a file. Yes. So I have put that in the chat. You can literally download it, everyone, and then you can form groups. So again, what you have to do is you have to pick one ecopreneurship challenge, fill the canvas for that, and then in 20 minutes time, we can have like presentations from 3 or 4 groups. If there are any questions, I'm here. You can ask that. If you don't want to do it in groups, you can do it individually as well. Audience that has been really quiet, I would want to hear something from you when presenting this canvas now. Fiza says, I would like to do it individually. Yeah, please go on. Yes, sure. You can definitely put that in the BMC, and I would love to have a look at it. If you're facing any problem in filling out any section, if it is unclear what to do there, if you need help, you can always put that in the chat, or better yet, you can unmute yourself and ask for help. We have 10 minutes left now, almost 10, 11 minutes left now. You don't exactly need to fill the form. I gave you the template. You can open for example, a Word document or a Google Doc and make different sections on it, and then just write under those headings. So the document that I shared, you don't exactly need to fill that template. I put it here so that you can have the exact section names that are there in the business model canvas. If anyone completes it before time, you can raise your hands, and if you want to share that, we will have the presentation first from you. Mariam, it can be any business idea as long as it is solving a climate challenge, eco challenge. Okay, Mahnur says I'm ready to present. Mahnur, you can present. Please unmute yourself and tell us what is the business idea that you would be pursuing and how would you do that?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I'll be presenting our business model canvas for an eco-friendly thrift store combined with the cloth bag production.
Right.
And the goal of it is to promote the sustainability and low textile waste and low textile production.
Right.
And our key partners are local donors, NGOs, eco-friendly delivery services, and the main activity includes the collecting and refurbishing the second-hand clothes and producing the cloth bag instead of the plastic bags and running online and offline sales. We will use the donated clothes, fabric, and online platform and volunteers as our resources. Uh, and we will connect with customers through social media, pop-up stalls, and loyalty programs, and young adults and eco-conscious families, and many other needy people. Costs include the refurbishing, production, and marketing, while revenue comes from the selling thrift clothes, cloth bags, and some other vintage pieces or stuff like that. In short, our model will be affordable and sustainable and impactful for the environment. Thank you.
Right. Okay. So, um, Mahnur, what I want you to do is, as I said, the first three things are the value proposition, the customer segment, and the key partners. So, what is the value proposition that your business is creating? What is the pain that you are taking away or alleviating? And then, what is the gain that you are creating for your customers? And who are your customers? Tell us more about that.
So value as you asked for the value proposition, so it is affordable, trendy, and sustainable clothing which will reduce the textile waste.
But so, okay, here is my thing. Manur, are you working with, okay, this is the example that Mariam has given to you. Sorry. Okay. So, Manur, my question is that you said your customers are going to be non-profits. Is that okay?
Yeah, mainly they will be young adults and students who are budget conscious and eco aware at the same time.
Right. So, if your end customer is a non-profit a non-government organization, then how are you addressing their pain and creating a gain for them?
NGOs may order my things in bulk and deliver to the people who need.
But is this the pain? So have you gone to any other NGO and asked them if they are really worried about there not being a business that can offer them a mass production capacity for these bags? Like what I'm trying to make you understand is that you have to first put yourself in the shoes of, so how the journey begins is very different. You have to first see who is the customer, what is the pain that they have that I'm exactly going to alleviate, and how I'm going to create a gain while alleviating their pain. If you do that, then you can think of the customers or the partners that you would use in order to create that pain or create that gain, sorry. And then you can think of channels and everything else. So right now your business seems to be I can't find a value proposition for it, because it is not coming, the all of the three things are not coming together. The customer segment, the value proposition, and the pain and the gains, they are not coming together.
Yeah, exactly. So, for the pain, I will keep my prices low because many young students cannot afford many new clothes and very pricey clothes. So for that, I will keep my cost a little low, and customers usually feel bad about contributing to textile waste and plastic pollution. And I also go for the unique styles for mass production. Usually, mass productions don't have any special styles, so
Mm.
I'll go for them for the unique styles.
So this is one of the outcomes of when you put, when you have something in your mind, you think, and I think that as well, that this is a very refined idea and I should go and do it. But you see, when we start putting it down on the paper in terms of our business model canvas, we can see the exact holes that are there. And this is why I want you to put all your ideas on the business model canvas, because then you would be able to refine your idea, polish your idea, and see where it needs improvement. Because if you don't do that, then you will put your money and your effort into it, and it would not be worth it. So, Manur, I would encourage you to put it on the business canvas, refine it until you end up with a story which knits very well together of what your customer pain exactly is, who your customer is, and how you are going to create a value proposition for them. But thank you so much for being the first one and having the courage to share it with us. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Fiza, you can go next. Fiza Khan.
Hello, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So we just had 10 minutes to, come up with this idea. So I'm sure it's not perfect or anything, but I chose waste management as the key issue because I've been a bit like I'm not that into sustain like the all of this because I'm a student of international relations. I'm not, quite aware of everything that goes on here. But still, I've been a bit passionate about waste management and especially waste segregation. So that is what I chose. So actually, to sum up what my business would be, it would be a subscription-based service that would collect specific household waste items, for example, glass jars or fabric
Fiza,
scraps or
forget everything right now. Forget everything. First of all, tell me what is the customer for your business? What is the pain that you are trying to solve for that customer, and how you are going to do it?
Okay, okay. So the customer segments would be local artisans who would be seeking for steady raw materials. There'd be eco-conscious households who are willing to subscribe to the whole business, model. Like for this business would have an app which will actually connect the artisans with the customers, and then the restaurants that generate high volumes of used cooking oil or glass bottles, not only restaurants but whatever business or whatever startup or whatever organization or whatever is like generating high volumes of waste which can actually be directed towards the local artisans, and they can then recraft the things that waste into something usable. The
And what is
pain
the
that
value proposition? Yeah.
the value proposition is that households can get convenient pickup and they can get discounts on the upcycle products they help supply, which is actually like a connection between the artisans and the customers. So it's like a loop whereby the households would provide segregated waste and the artisans would get their raw material, and when they prepare useful products from that raw material, they just go back to the people who contributed the waste in the first place in in low price in a low it would be like sort of uh,
So
some I can't think of.
here is how I would reimagine the business model canvas for the same idea that you have done.
Yes.
So for me, it can be a B2B or a B2C business, and I would choose B2B because B2B businesses are always easier to do, easier to market, and easier to build traction on. So I would choose customer as my customer segment. I would choose other businesses and organizations. The pain that I'm trying to solve for these businesses and organizations is in cities like Peshawar and others, which are the tier two cities but fairly big in Pakistan. They have big populations, and businesses are required to um, deal with their waste in a responsible manner by the municipal organizations in Pakistan. And if they don't do that, they can be taxed or fined. And they can also, if they are looking dirty, the businesses are looking dirty, they're not clean enough, the customers can go away as well. So this is the problem that I'm trying to solve for them. I'm trying to first of all save them from being fined and taxed, and number two, I'm trying to build a good reputation among the customers by keeping a hygienic environment and showing responsibility. How I'm creating gain for them is my collection vans come to them, they take their waste, segregate it into organic and inorganic waste, and then recycle that waste into either fertilizer from the organic waste or other products like plastic pellets and other things from the inorganic waste, right? And I am generating a money while also addressing their pain. So for example, I'm not even collecting money from them to collect their waste. I'm paying a small amount to them from their waste that I'm actually generating from the products that I'm generating through their waste, right? So this is the value proposition. I'm taking away their pain, the tax, the fines, all of that. I'm creating a gain, which is an additional income, a cleaner and more hygienic environment, a compliant business, right? So this is how you have to put the thoughts into the business canvas in order to make your value proposition very um, expressly there, and it in order for all the parts to fit with each other. And who would be my partners? My partners would be the municipal organizations, they would be the businesses, they would be the recycling facilities. So all of these would become the partners which can enable my business model. Fiza, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that is how you
Thank
have to think. The business thinking, the startup thinking always starts from who is my customer and what pain they are facing. If you do not know the customer and you do not know their pain specifically, then you cannot solve it. That is how I want all of you to think. Nagin, you can go next, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Am I audible? Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Okay, great. Okay, so basically, I had to travel to southern south of Punjab right now. So it just occurred to me that we should focus on something that should, the an agriculture land restoration business. This is what I came up with. I have been thinking about it for a long time, but I think it's quite complex. But this canvas helped me a little bit to narrow down the prerequisites. So basically, the idea is to help local farmers or communities regain their lost soil health. As we can see, the Pakistan is currently suffering from a lot of degraded land, and agricultural productivity is declining sharply. So my idea is to partner with international or local organizations such as IUCN or FA or any other organization that can help the local waste management companies into segregating the organic municipal waste component, that is their food waste or vegetable waste, and that can be segregated and used as the natural fertilizers. The value proposition that can offer is that it will offer them resilience. It will help them. It can significantly improve their livelihood, and it can improve their the quality of their products. It can offer them better outcomes and better performance. And again, the customer segment that I found for them is that they can partner with any public or a corporate private sector, or the companies that are looking for green credits. Green credits are something that are currently going on in Punjab, and they are actively working. Companies are looking for that. So I think if companies can help them, the local communities in regaining their agricultural land. So I think this is something that it can be implemented.
So Nagin, is your target customer the community, the NGOs, the businesses? Who's your target customer?
My targeted customer is the local farmers and the communities.
Local farmers and the communities.
Yes.
How are you addressing the pain for them? What is the pain that you're exactly addressing?
Uh, if we narrow it down, they are faced the prime problem that it was in my mind was that their soil fertility is degrading. They do not have a good quality soil. For
Yes.
this reason, their products, they're also declining, and the soil that and the lands, I have literally witnessed them that they were barren. So if
Mhm.
any way that we can restore the strength or restore the soil, and it can be done if we implement such programs.
Okay. So how exactly are you going to help them regain their fertility, their land fertility?
So basically, we can we can partner with the local municipal solid waste management companies, that they can somehow segregate the organic waste components. Either we can implement it on that level, or we can request the households to just segregate their particular solid waste, organic waste, that can be later composted, and that can be added to the soil. If even if those components are added directly to the soil, they
So
restore the
here
strength of the land.
here is where here is where your business idea is falling apart. You have the customer segment defined, you have the value proposition defined, but when you are defining your value proposition, you are
Mhm.
not telling what you can do exactly to solve the problem. You are instead telling what you can get others to do to solve the problem. Do you get it? Like, a business is not trying to make others do something, it is doing it itself.
Yes,
So
it's not
you have
brokery.
to be the entity. Yeah,
Yes.
so you have to be, instead of saying that you can get other partners to make the compost or make the households do the segregation, you have to
Mhm.
say you have to do the segregation, and then
Right.
you make the compost from the organic waste, right?
But
So that
if
is
we
the only thing.
okay, but if I would be setting up the the, let's say, composting sites and everything, wouldn't I would be deviating from the main goal? I'm a little bit lost here.
Okay, so if you are giving partnering with a compost site and
Mhm.
you are asking them to make the compost for you, what are you doing yourself? How are you solving the problem?
Right, right,
So that is what I'm saying. A
right,
business has to solve the problem itself. It
right,
doesn't
right.
ask others to solve the
Yes.
problem, right?
Actually, I have been making compost for a very long time. So this is why this
Yeah,
has occurred to me, and then I saw the scenario around us. So yes, but thank you so much. Yes, this is a valuable feedback. Thank you.
no worries at all. I'm glad we could help. Um, so now we have Siti. Siti, can you please unmute yourself and share the idea that you have?
Okay, thank you. But hopefully my internet service is quite good enough.
Yeah,
It,
please go.
yeah, I would like to present about West Bank unit in my university. Um, why I propose this business because not all students and lecturers they get service for solid waste management in their home, so that I think university can be a kind of education center, as well as how they also could implement the waste management system for students and lecturers. And then for the key partners, not only students and lecturers, but also local people living near university, recycling industries, and also environmental protection agency in yeah in our environment. And then for the hello,
Sriti, who
yeah,
is your ideal customer? What is the customer segment for you?
yeah, the main customer is students and lecturers.
Okay. And
Yeah,
what is the pain that you're trying to address for them?
yeah. Not all of students and lecturers get access to service of a solid waste management system in their living area. So
So,
that
many of the students and teachers in your area are not getting the waste management service. Is that correct?
yeah, that's right.
And
Because
you are going to offer them the waste management service,
yes,
right?
the West Bank unit only pick up the valuable materials
Hmm.
as well as compostable materials.
Right, right. And
Yeah,
is it a pain big enough that they would want to pay for it?
yeah. For valuable materials, they will get a kind of money. Uh, so they will sell their valuable materials to West Bank unit, and then because West Bank unit also a kind of business, we will sell again to recycling industries.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the business I would like to propose because it also could support our Eco Campus program in our university, as
Yeah.
well as a part of capstone designs um, in our department in environmental engineering program.
Right. So, Siti, I do think that you have the customer segment and the value proposition rightly figured out.
Mhm.
And this is also a established business model. So this is not something that you are going to try and this has never been tried. This is actually in operations in many countries, many cities of the world. So
Yep.
if you can make it stick, I think you have a good business case here.
Thank you.
Yeah. All the
Yeah.
best with. Thank you. And
Yeah.
finally,
Thank
we
you.
will go to Mariam and then we will resume back our like final part of the slide and conclude the session. Mariam, just quickly, if you can go through.
Okay, I will. So my eco-friendly business idea would be called Green Glow, a
Mhm.
startup that produces solar-powered decorative lamps and home lights made from recycled glass and bamboo. Now, the value proposition is solving the pain of households and businesses facing high electricity costs and unsustainable lighting options by offering them affordable, renewable, and stylish solar lamps. Now, customers will gain lower energy bills, reliable lighting during power outages, and the pride of using a sustainable product that adds beauty to their spaces. The target audience would include households and cafes, eco conscious homeowners, and even planners. So, I will reach them through channels such as social media campaigns, online eco stores, and collaborations with interior designers and event organizers. So, yes.
Amazing, Mariam. I love the idea. I love how you have brought it together. And I definitely think there is a business case for this.
Oh, thank you.
Lovely. Samra, unfortunately, we are out of the time, but do share your thoughts on the chat, and I would like to help if I can. So let's go back to our presentation. There is just one thing that I further want to discuss. This was amazing work. I hope it was helpful for you as well. Um, so there is just one other concept that I want to leave with you, and this is very much in line with everything that we have discussed with so far. And this is the concept of cooperative building. So when we were discussing the ecopreneurship ideas, I told you that collaboration is the new competition. People are not looking to compete anymore. They are actually much more cooperative now. And even while turning towards making a new business, I think that movement can be seen now. So, what is cooperative building? Instead of everyone trying to make a separate business, you can actually pool your ideas and resources and try to build something together. And so, for example, there is a thrift business which sells the recycled clothes, and you pre-loved clothes. And then you are only focusing on the segment of women clothing. And then there is another business who is focusing purely on shoes. It is again a thrift store, but it is focusing purely on shoes. So instead of making two different e-commerce platforms where these clothing items can be sold, you can instead come together and come up with a thrift store that sells both the shoes and the clothes, and you can put it on there and sell it together. This is called cooperative building, that instead of spreading your resources and us all trying to make our things sell, we bring together similar resources and try to help each other sell their things. And that is why if you see a lot of different like-minded organizations, especially those working on for example, the sustainable solutions, they are coming together and they are helping each other to sell their products and services. This is called cooperative building and cooperative selling. And I want you to think very carefully who you might be viewing as your competitor, who can actually become your collaborator and a cooperator that you can sell your products with. So, for example, there have been cases in Pakistan where I have actually helped startups work with each other where they were competing previously, and they are now selling to the same audience. They have defined their own niches, their products and services are differentiated, but their target segment is the same, and therefore they are co-selling it, and receiving the benefits out of that. So what it does is it lowers your customer acquisition cost, it lowers your operational cost, and it helps increase your bottom line and the profits that you're making. And it is also better for the environment because you are exploiting less of the resources for the planet and the people. So this was the last concept that I wanted to leave with you. So in terms of establishing an eco business, you have to really focus on not just the surface level ideas like recycling and reusing and thrifting, but also digging deep into, if I'm doing something in the medical area, if I'm doing something in the fashion area, if I'm doing something in a technology area, how can that reduce the impact of, for example, the carbon emissions, the electricity or the power used, the energy used, and how can I make it more people friendly and planet friendly in order to reduce its impact. Always put it down in terms of your BMC, try, because once you put it in writing and try to fill that business model canvas that I have just given you, it systemizes that idea and refines it, and you are able to see much more loopholes than if you are just like thinking it in your head. And finally, try to always be cooperative and build collaborative solutions rather than building one-offs and doing things in silos, because this is one way to, again, reduce the impact on both the people and the planet. And it would help all of the conventional businesses even to become more planet friendly. And we need to act with urgency. We need to act with great um, ambition, and we need to make things happen very quickly. We don't want to wait for another decade because we are seeing the crisis today and we need the solutions right now. This is all from me. If you have any questions or thoughts or suggestions, please put them in the chat, unmute yourself. I'm here to answer anything that you might ask. Over to you, Mariam. I'm here if there
Yes.
is any question from the
Thank you
audience.
so much, Shannon. It was such a good session and informative because some of the things I also don't know about business model and everything. So these were new also for me. So thank you so much. And also one thing I wanted to tell all the audience that we are going to have a physical session, especially for the Pakistani audience, which will be might be soon. I will announce in the group for the registration, but it will be in October, start of the October. So if you guys have any questions or anything you wanted to discuss, so you can come up to the physical session and you can discuss that. And for Shayan, so I just wanted to tell you more about this whole Green Fellowship, like which we are running. It's
Yeah.
basically a collaboration between Indonesian startup and a Pakistani startup. Indonesian startup is called Gavera, and they worked on solar energy products and everything. And in Pakistan, we are collaborating this fellowship with the Trash Bee, that is a waste management startup. You already know them, and the collaboration is done because of the IFA. IFA is the German institute which we are working, which I was actually the part of the alumni of IFA. And so I come up with the collaboration approach with both of the startups.
Mashallah.
So these are the main rounds of the fellowship, and one of these physical session will be in Indonesia, and one will be in Pakistan. So we have soon to be in Pakistan. So then I will definitely meet you and all of the other teammates as well, and then all of the audience which
Absolutely.
we
We
have.
would
So
love to be your host for that in-person session. You can hold it at the NIC Aerospace Technologies. We have a wonderful facility, and we would love to host you guys here
yes,
whenever
I
you want.
already booked the room in NICAT already. So thank you
Amazing.
so much for the collaboration. Yeah, thank you so
So
much.
yeah,
So
I'll
please.
hopefully get to see many of you there.
Yes. So any of the questions from the audience, I will connect you to the LinkedIn. Obviously, you have shared the link. So
Yeah.
any questions, if you guys later on, so you can ask directly from Shaya.
So just
Thank
one final thing, guys. So if you go to my LinkedIn, you would see a button where you can also book a meeting with me. So any help that you want or mentoring that you need for your startup or your business, I'm available all the time. You can book from my calendar. It is directly integrated with my calendar. So you can book a meeting, but do please put your purpose for the meeting in the dialog box that appears with the reservation request so that I know and I can come prepared for that particular purpose.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we will end up this session, and once again, thank you.
Lovely seeing you all. Take care and good luck with your businesses.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Allah Hafiz.